What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Coach Will here from Iron Will Tennis. I hope you guys are out there working hard. Today we're going to be covering a three-part series on building consistency in the ground strokes, and we're going to break that down into 3 segments, and the stuff we cover in one segment will build on into parts 2 and 3. So everything we cover today, you want to make sure you guys are really staying locked in on, because I'm going to reference the stuff we do today as we go into the other videos. When we're going through this stuff, the main focus is going to be building your ability to stay in points without pressuring yourself and without creating too much need to do extra in order to stay in the point. We've all been in situations where somebody hits a good shot, puts us under pressure, or we feel like there's a ball that's sitting there that we have to make and we end up missing it for a myriad of different reasons. So we're going to be covering a lot of those basic fundamental principles today, and then, as I said, we'll be building it out over the course of a couple of videos, and by the end you guys should be able to take the stuff that you're working on and make it all kind of stick together. Now, the stuff we do today, you're not going to get in one day, but you can take these things and immediately apply them to your practice, and if you apply them to your practice consistently, you'll build consistency in your ground strokes. So without talking too much, I'm going to be using the ball machine today so we keep a very consistent ball coming in, and then we'll build in the variety as we progress through the other videos. So let's stop talking, let's jump right on the court. Okay, so for part 1 of being able to control the consistency of your ground strokes, we're going to start with making a general decision on what your target is before you arrive for the ball. As we go for our split step, you're going to be moving left and right to track the ball. But as you arrive, you want to have already decided what the direction is that you're hitting so that we can talk about how the physical mechanics are going to make that better. I'm going to use you guys as the court reference. Right now I'm standing in the middle of the court. I'm a little bit inside the baseline, but that part doesn't matter. When I move to my backhand side, let's say they hit the ball over to this side, and I know that I want to hit cross court. On arrival, my shoulders are going to be generally pretty turned based off of how well I do my initial setup on the backhand. But if I want to hit cross court, what I need to actually do is open up the line of my shoulders a little bit so that my shoulder angle actually lines up in the cross court direction. Likewise, if I wanted to go down the line, after my initial turn, when I arrive, I'm going to have my shoulders more lined up to go in this direction. A lot of people, when they're using an open stance, for example, and they try and go down the line, I want you guys to understand you're going against the natural mechanic. As you arrive, your shoulders are usually a little bit more open. You very rarely see somebody go full open stance, everything this way, and then stay that way through the shot. So if I'm arriving in an open stance, the natural tendency is for my body to want to bring the ball across and go cross court. Same way as if I'm hitting a two-handed or one-handed backhand. As I arrive here open, it's tough to maintain that really closed shoulder angle to go down the line. My natural tendency is to want to go cross court. So when we do the open stance and we go down the line, it's not that the shot's impossible, it's not that the shot's inherently really, really difficult, it's just more difficult than the shot that you could choose if you're going with your natural tendency. So if I go close stance and I go here, the natural shot is to keep the racket on the same side of my body and keep the shot going down the line. It doesn't mean I can't pull it cross court, it just means it takes a little bit more effort and a little bit more forethought to bring the racket back across to go cross court. So your first step is making sure you have a very clear decision on what direction you're going, and then as you arrive, you start lining up your body for the direction that we're trying to go, and then if I want to go close stance, everything's already set to go that way. So step 1 is pre-deciding what you're going to do. A lot of people make the mistake of tracking the ball first and then deciding what they want to do, but they arrive very general and then try to hit a specific shot after arriving basic. All that you have to do from the very beginning is just arrive for the shot you've chosen rather than arriving and then choosing your shot after that. The best players in the world decide early. The worst players in the world, which isn't really nice to say, but players that are learning, that's a better way to say it, players that are learning tend to decide when the ball arrives what they're going to do. The earlier you decide, the earlier you can set up. So what I'm going to do now is, using the ball machine, I'm going to basically just show you guys an example of lining my shoulders up for hitting the direction that I'm choosing. So I'm going to hit my first 4 balls cross court, so you should see my shoulders angled across, and on my second 4 balls I'm going to hit them down the line. You should see my shoulders more lined up with that. And that's all it is. One, 2, 3, 4. Those are cross. Now I'm going line, down the line. 2, 3, 4. So now from the back angle, same thing. 1, 2, 3, shoulders turn, and 4. Down the line, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so like you guys saw, just set up your shoulders to match the target that you choose, and the target that you choose will be easier to hit. If you're constantly changing your mind, you're also going to be ending up changing the way you need to set up, so you have to make those decisions early. Going into part 2, we're going to be talking about the decision itself. A lot of people make mistakes when they play based off of their decision on what shot to hit, more so than their ability to hit the shot itself. It's not about necessarily your forehand or backhand being bad or being technically flawed. It's more so you're taking a shot that you don't need to hit in the first place and then saying my forehand or my backhand is bad, when realistically your backhand down the line was chosen badly rather than the fact that you can't hit your backhand. So percentages say that 80 to 90% of balls go cross court whenever we play. So when you're playing, if you stay cross too long, that's better than going down the line or running to the net or picking an abnormal shot at the wrong time. The worst thing that can happen if you go cross court is that you're missing a chance to be aggressive. You may be missing a chance to do more, but you won't inherently hurt yourself in most cases. So this next exercise, we're going to set up a target on the net. Again, setting it up on the net, not at the back, and I'll explain why. But our goal with whatever the ball machine gives me, I'm actually going to set it to a random setting now. My goal is to aim for the target that I have on the net, and then we'll bring it back here and I'll explain the thought process behind it.